Yoru, one of the most overpowered agents in the game, finally got a significant nerf. Since its rework, Yoru has been seeing more and more play to the extent of VCT Santiago, where he was the most picked agent with a 62% pick rate. Riot decided to cut his TP uptime from 30 seconds down to 15, as well as giving him one flash less. Today, I want to show you what made Yoru strong pre-nerf and how we can apply those same concepts now so we can play him to his maximum potential even after the nerfs. First, I want to take a look at a concept many call babysitting. On this concept, you set up a teammate with the Yoru TP ready to the other side. So, what do you need for that concept? Let's pull up an example. Now we are here on Pearl A main, and obviously we need a teammate and the Yoru to set this teammate up on the line. Ideally, we also need another player to support the fight and actually help getting us the space. In this case, let it be a Sova to give us the information. On barrier drop, we are now contesting A main. In this case, we will flash and a recon. If the enemies are fighting us, depending on the third player, we can commit to the fight as well. If we secure the space and insert the player, the Yoru is now able to TP towards B. So essentially, we now have a very deep line on our weak side, and our strong side can absorb a hit or can even re-aggro depending on the round state. Now, I want to take a look at how teams were implementing this concept, and for that, let's take a look at PaperX at their Toronto run on Lotus. PaperX were very known to play very aggressive on their defense half, and they are taking this concept to the extreme, but we can still learn from it. In this clip, we can see that they are heavy fighting for rubble control with 4 people. What is interesting here is that as soon as something realizes that Wolves isn't committing to the fight, he instantly TPs over to C 5 seconds into the round. Here is where the comp and the stylistic approach makes a difference. Instead of just waiting for Wolves to react and to take C, something places very proactively and instantly takes mount control by just having a TP option as well as a one-way. This allows PaperX to take more util from the enemy early on, which then later helps them actually being able to hold a side. Some might argue that that was last year, but looking at a current Santiago run on Haven, we see the exact same principles in play. Here, Yoru is used to set up chamber for the deep A line. In this clip, as soon as the Vi takes that deep A line of the Yoru flash, something is already TPing towards C link, again just 5 seconds into the round. Even though he's not playing as aggressive here as he does on Lotus, sticking to a garage line instead, we can see how PaperX instantly gains deep A control while being perfectly positioned to shut down the C execute. So how do we actually implement this post-nerf? Let's look at our Pearl example again, this time with a realistic comp. The biggest change is your timing. Before, those 30 seconds allowed you to wait out the enemy's initial utility, recontest, and then TP. That's gone. Now, you have to decide immediately if you're committing to an early fight or not. But here's the biggest takeaway. If you decide to go for an aggressive push, it's still possible to create a macro advantage. In this setup, we are inserting the Neon while Yoru keeps the spawn TP active. This still accelerates your rotation time significantly, and once Neon is deep, you've successfully created that massive macro advantage once again, and the Yoru is able to rotate towards B. Obviously, that's not the only way to play Yoru. One of his core strengths used to be that massive cross-map presence, the ability to hold A, whether active or passive, and still rotate towards C in a matter of seconds. With the new TP duration, those long-distance rotational TPs are mostly gone, or at the very least incredibly inconsistent. That's why we need to shift our focus. Let's look at a different way to play Yoru, one that's likely to dominate the meta now that the nerfs are live. With this approach, you are playing Yoru as an escape agent, almost like a Jett would play with a dash, basically setting Yoru up on an aggressive line with the intent of him having a first kill chance before TPing out. We can see exactly that intention in this clip from All Gamers vs PaperX in Santiago, where the Yoru sets up a rotational TP after PaperX made noise on the A half of the map. Now, Finger is walking up on B long, confirming that the presence from PaperX is real and there's no fake going on. If he were to face an enemy here, he would still have the chance for a first kill before TPing out. In this case though, once he confirmed that PaperX's A presence is real, he TPs towards A, making sure All Gamers is in a good position for the retake. It is important to note that this whole sequence would be the exact same with new Yoru as finger TPs with 4 seconds left on the new TP duration. Now we have the tools to evaluate the Yoru nerfs without overreacting. I hope I've shown you that especially on defense, Yoru still provides enormous value if played with clear intention. On attack, it really comes down to how you approach the round as a team, but the potential is definitely still there. One thing I didn't deep dive into today is the flash economy. While having one flash less hurts, this is where agent mastery kicks in. Knowing exactly when to use or save that single flash is key, and one is often enough to brute force a zone or clear an angle. Personally, I still see Yoru competing head to head with Jett for that duelist spot. In my opinion, Yoru wins out most of the time, unless you absolutely need the verticality of Jett's updraft. If teams simply start swapping Jett back for Yoru now, they are honestly trolling. Yoru is simply better at doing that job. So, thank you very much for watching and sticking around until the end. Let me know in the comments if you agree with my take or if I'm totally off. Also, which maps are you still playing Yoru on? And since this is my first video, I'd love to hear your feedback on what can I improve. And otherwise, see you in the next one.